This is the last video for this section, and I'm just doing more examples of writing radicals in simplest form. In other words, simplifying radical expressions. So example number 8 here, I have the cube root of x to the 6th, y to the 4th. X to the 6th is a perfect cube. Y to the 4th is not, so I factor y to the 4th as y cubed times y, because that's a perfect cube times y. And then I can split out the cube root of the x6 at x to the 6th and cube root of y to y cubed, and the cube root of y, like that. And then the first two simplify to x squared and times y times the cube root of y. Okay, example 9, the cube root of x to the 18th. Well, 18 is a multiple of 3, so that's actually x to the 6th cubed. And the shortcut way of thinking of this is just take the power on the x and divide it by the index, right? And since 3 goes into 18, I get 6. I get a nice integer out. So I end up with just x to the 6th. Now the cube root of x to the 19th, I put in an extra factor of x. So I need to separate that out first. Because if you took 19 over 3, you would get 6 with a remainder of 1. This is another way to think of doing the simplification. You just divide the power on the x by 3. You get 6 with a remainder of 1. Right? And then the remainder is the stuff that is the power that remains inside the cube root. It's kind of a nice little trick. And so I get x to the 6th times cube root of x. It's just a slightly different way of looking at simplifying these. Okay, cube root of negative 64 a to the 12th. A to the 12th is a perfect cube. You can tell because the power is a product of 3. It's 3 times 4. 64 is 4 cubed. So you can do that. You get negative 4 a to the 4th. Pretty simple. Okay, so cube root of ab squared over 108. 108, I have to figure out if there's any perfect cubes in there. So I just use this little tree factoring thing that some of you might have seen before. So 108 is 2 times 54, and 54 is 2 times 27, and I notice 27 is a perfect cube, which is what I'm looking for. It's a cube root. So what I want is 4 times 27. Right, perfect cube there. So I get cube root of ab squared over the cube root of 27 times 4. The bottom one I split up because it's going to simplify. The top one I just leave the same. Right? Cube root of 4 doesn't simplify, so I just leave that inside. And the 3, cube root of 27 is a 3. It's in the denominator, so that's the same as times 1/3. Okay? Divide by 3, same as times 1/3. And that's it for that section, simplifying. You need to make sure you can do all of these and do them well, so you need to practice these until you've got them down.